Hi, Chris.
Hey, hi you. How you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Good, good. I've just got Citizen Kane going on behind me. I just, keep it newspaper related.
All right.
You're right. Absolute pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you for giving me your time. What I wanted to do to try and get out of the interview, first of all, is there's a relaunch about to happen, or in prospective relaunch about to happen for your paper in print, which is exciting. Why not fill us in a bit on that, Hugh?
Okay, so unfortunately from March last year, we had to cease printing for two reasons, really. One, that we lost almost all our advertising revenue because the people we advertise are local, mainly events and people putting on live things and arts things and sports things, and none of that was happening. So no income. And also we distribute at outlets, cafes, community centres, restaurants, all that kind of thing, and they're all closed as well. So kind of a double whammy. We did actually, so we decided we'd carry on and still produce the paper, but do it as a PDF online on our website, which is not satisfactory from our point of view, but it's the best we could do. And we wanted to really keep the team together and keep producing. Yeah. We did get some money from a charity and a COVID funding source. I'm trying to remember which one. And actually we got back for 4 issues in July, August. But that money ran out, and of course there've been lockdowns and since then, so it wasn't possible. But we've, as I say, we've kept the team together. We've kept the product, and we do hope to be back on the street on Thursday, the 15th of April.
Oh, that's soon. Oh, excellent. Oh, okay. And that, in terms of that rollout, will it be the same places? Because I mean, I remember, if I'm in the old town, I accidentally go into these pubs and I'll see the Hastings Independent will be there.
Yes, all the places that
used to be
that are open. Obviously, we've got to wait, and nobody, very few of them are open at the moment.
Yeah.
And a bit difficult to check with them to see whether they're going to be open. But the majority will be open by the 15th of April, and that's really why we've set that date.
Oh, fingers crossed for the whole town, really. I mean, not just your paper, but for the whole town, because I mean, I know those businesses desperately need. I mean, obviously, it needs to be safe and everything, but we do need to kickstart that economy again. So. And
I think we've always thought that print makes us different. There are lots of stuff online, but what we do is really one more blog, and I think having it in print is different, and in some ways counter to the general way that things are going, but all the better for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and also it's a better way of getting advertising out. I mean,
yes, that's right. I mean, it's very difficult to get advertising for online, and I don't blame them. It's not the same exposure.
Okay, well, I was going to talk about that. Your role. You're the sports editor for the paper.
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
I'm the news editor, but I've been the sports editor for the last 5 years or so, and putting out a 1 page a fortnight. And I've done that all the time until January this year. So all through the second half of 2020, even though very little sport was going on, I found things to write about and stuff. And in January, we actually wanted temporarily to cut our pages, and I just said, well, sport really doesn't exist at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll cut it out for 2 or 3 months, but we'll be back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Talking of sport, now we've got a lot happening locally now, particularly on the football front. Now we've got, obviously, Hastings is, it's our season's over for the men's team anyway. Luckily enough, the women's team, which is highly popular, very well attended matches, that they are looking to start up again. I think the beginning of April is the provincial date for that, and which is exciting. And hopefully we can have people in the stadiums again. We don't know. It's all ifs and buts at the moment, isn't it? But that's at least something to be excited about. Also, we have the local teams, the sort of more grassroots teams, have pinched a few players here and there. So for instance, Chris Agata and Peter Heritage, who are coaches at Hastings, are playing for Westfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I know Hastings fans are quite excited about that. Jack Dixon has gone to Hollington. Okay. And their league's starting up very soon. I know the friendlies are starting up end of March friendlies. I know lots of people that would like to go along to those games. I'm more than happy to send you all the fixtures for all these teams, Bexhill as well. And I know particularly people that are starved of, we've been starved of any sport, to be able to cheer on the white feather that is Peter Heritage when he comes on as a super sub. That, I know that sounds appealing to a lot of people, including myself. So, but I was just saying, from your point of view, you can't be everywhere. So you obviously the news and the sports editor. Do you kind of get correspondence from people who go to these games, or is it just a game you've been to yourself and you'll report on that?
Okay, because it's fortnightly, we don't regard ourselves as able to do regular reports in the same way as Hastings Observer. I think they do the reports well, and I've generally thought their sports coverage is pretty good. So I try to do something a bit different, which is do a story a bit more in depth. But during the season, I've tended to have at least a column or part of the sports page covering Hastings United, because it's an ongoing story. Over the past certainly 2 or 3 years, they've always been up at the top, so that's a good news story, and they're good to watch, and I like to feel that we support them. That means that really we've never covered other football. I used to play long ago in the East Sussex League.
Oh, did you? Who'd you play for?
I played for Icklesham Casuals.
Oh, right. Striker, or what sort of position?
I didn't come down here to Hastings till I was 33, so always a bit of a veteran. I started off up front, and then when I was no longer capable of playing up front, I graduated to the back. But I discovered, which was first time in my long football career that I played at the back, and I discovered actually the idea that they just sit around and don't need the same fitness levels is completely untrue. And I had new respect for defenders. And I have to be one myself. I've always, I've still got good mates involved with Icklesham Casuals. We have an annual golf, twice a year golf tournaments actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's very organised. That is.
Yeah.
In terms of Icklesham, are they kicking back off again, like Bexhill, Hollington, Westfield? Know if they are or not?
I don't know is the short answer. And what you've told me is kind of news to me. I knew that there was an opportunity for grassroots football from the 29th of March, but I didn't know how well. It sounds it's really well organised, and that's really good because that means, just like the women's team, because the men aren't performing in any organised way, it means we can divert attention to them for the moment Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So Hastings United are not doing any kind of mini league or any?
I don't think. I mean, I'm obviously only just a fan, but I know that attempts were made to try and create, but there wasn't the interest from other clubs. I know from I had a conversation with Billy Wood a while ago, I think it was a few months ago, because he was very keen to try and do that, but it doesn't seem to be happening. But obviously, women's team. I mean, the women's team was well supported before any of this, which was nice. I mean, you know, really, like, I mean, the limits were like 400. There was 400 there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and you know, really, I know the fans have grabbed it with both hands. You know, in terms of just enjoying it, and it's been some good stuff there. Been some good stuff played. But yeah, in terms of the other guys, the Westfield, the Bexhill, the Hollington, it has been very organised. I'll send you all the fixtures over to you so you can have a look. And the mini leagues, they've been put into mini leagues. Yeah. The league's been split up.
I think the important thing in all this sport is it needs to be competitive. If it's not competitive, it's just kind of, you know, you might as well kick the ball about in the park. For most football fans, including me, I'm a competitive person, so I like to know they're playing for something. So I think I'm not surprised that Hastings United, as the men's team, you know, there isn't interest, because what's the point? There's no ultimate point to it. So I think you know, having a mini league in East Sussex and having, as you say, these sort of celebrity players all sounds good. And as you say, the women's team, it's good that they can go forward with a competitive league and presumably at the end of it get what they hoped for, which was promotion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all hoping that. I mean, they did so well. Obviously, that was the league that they had to start in because they're a new start-up team, but they really gelled quickly. In terms of your paper, what do you think? Because you've got the funding you've got for your relaunch. I mean, how long is that? Is that kind of like a 3-month thing, 6-month thing? See how it goes.
We need to get back to very quickly to a position where we're self-funding by reason of advertising. Yeah, we have a Friends of HIP program, which brings in a little bit of money, and other possible one-off ways of funding ourselves. But fundamentally, we need to pay in the traditional newspaper method of getting advertising, because it's a natural to go with print. Banking on the fact that the economy is going to carry on opening up, that events are going to carry on are going to resume, and that people will want to publicise them. So that's our hope.
The Friends of HIP. What is that? Is that a website?
It's
how do people access that?
They can go on our website and look at how to join. It's really a subscription service where you pay varying amounts. Really, it's a way of supporting the paper in a difficult time. Yeah.
And what is that? What could you give us that website just for anyone listening?
It's Hastings Independent Press, all one word, .co.uk.
Lovely. Okay, excellent. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Hugh? I'm just.
Well, I think the other thing that's happening with Hastings United behind the scenes is the hoped for move, and I've been keeping an eye on the planning files at Hastings Council, because obviously the move, the relocation, is dependent on 2 sets of planning applications, one for tile kiln, one for pilot field. The tile kiln one, as far as I can see, is all fine. There's nobody's raising objections. It's a good move, and the fact that they're losing sports pitches which could be an issue for Sport England, I think should not be, because they're going to more than make up for the loss of the grass pitches with the artificial.
The artificial ones, yeah.
And those old sports pitches, I played on them when I was playing, and they are not well maintained, and the dressing room was horrific. And I don't think many footballers will shed too many tears at the loss of Tile Kiln if it's replaced by something with better facilities. So that's all good. I mean, the pilot field, there's like any housing development, there are people who feel it shouldn't happen or shouldn't happen there, or feel that all sorts of things haven't been taken into account, and there will be a planning, contest. I think, I don't know when. I imagine, I think the football club should feel optimistic, because no doubt the council itself, not the planning part of it, but the general council definitely supports it. But, I think I just look at the documents that are filed there and see that there's plenty of opposition still.
There's a lot. So I know there was some. There's always an element of any housing development. There's always going to be some people that complain.
Absolutely.
But obviously it's about it being done properly, and there should be a forum for people to contest these things. This is without doubt. So, in terms of as you're the journalist, sir, do you kind of know when there's any hearing of that coming up, or?
No, I've got no better way of finding out when hearings are happening than either an announcement by Hastings United, or I watch the planning meetings coming up of Hastings Council and see when it's coming up. But I don't know how soon, how much further they have to go to be ready for that, either in terms of when the council will hear it, or when Hastings United have to produce the relevant, or their agents have to produce the relevant documents. And they haven't, I think the club hasn't particularly kept us informed of that.
I don't speak for the club, but I suppose that's in the hands of the gods in terms of if we get many residents kicking up a fuss and how much strength.
Well, they will, they do. All developments of size get, get objection, but there are various institutional processes that have to be done, and that takes time. So it would be nice if the club would kind of give us some time frame of where we are on that, but I understand they have lots of other things on their plate as well.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair question. Fair question, Hugh. Anything else involving the Hastings Independent that you'd like to announce?
Well, obviously, anything you to tell people that we are coming back on the streets. I think a lot of people who used to read us in print never go online, don't really realise we've been carrying on, or it's not their thing to go and read stuff online. Our target is to be out there in print. And anything you can do to say, yes, we'll be out there in print on the 15th of April, and we will be back with a full sports page, and we will cover not only Hastings United, but from what you say, very keen to give a little publicity to the East Sussex League if it's got these extra elements to it this summer. And
I'll send it all on to you.
Also to the women's team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll send it all on to you, Hugh, and then you can obviously have a look at it and see what you think.
Yeah. And, would you like to write anything about your podcast and all that for our paper?
Yeah. Well, I very much appreciate that. Obviously, I'd love to mention the podcast, which is it's been going. This is episode 24 now.
Yeah. How often do you come out?
It was every week.
Yeah.
And then lockdown hit. I absolutely picked the worst time to start a podcast up, and so it was every week, and then it's been every 2 weeks for I think about the last 4 or 5 episodes, because there's only so much you can talk about when there's no football. Although there is mention top 5 Peter Gabriel with Peter Heritage, that's on this episode coming up. So we did splay off into music and stuff, but I would absolutely love to be in your paper, and anyone who's listening, if you've got a pint in your hand in the philo, reading the Hastings Independent is not a bad idea as well, you know. So it's just it's something I used to do anyway. So
good. Well, I hope you'll be doing it again very soon.
Yeah. Anyway, well, listen to Hugh. Thanks for your time.
Okay, great.
Take care. Thanks. I'll be in touch.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.